It's 7:40. Let's do this. The heat and more storms on the way. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you are watching First Warning Live. Warning Live like as in weather? Yes, as in weather. And it's sponsored by Marco's Pizza. And boy, are we giving away some free pizza today. Boy, we like to do this on Thursdays. How would you like to win pizza for a year? Oh, I got that. I'm coming up, and we're going to give away 10 extra pies. Oh, we're going to have so much fun with Marco's, so bear with me. But I do want to talk about, if you're interested in weather, you've come to the right place. You've come to the right place because we're talking about the heat. Oh, we hit 92 today. Are you sure about that? Because it felt a lot hotter. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. It felt like it was 104 today. And I know what some of you are thinking. 104? You said it'd feel like 107. It was like 109 in Gloucester. It was like 108 in Williamsburg today. But the record high, 100 in 1877. Take some notes here. I believe that was, 138 years ago. A long time ago that we hit 100 on this particular date. But when you look in the rearview mirror, we hit 104 today, 101 yesterday. Could we get any cooler? Tomorrow's going to be pretty taxing and tolling too. If you work in construction, you're outside trying to mow the lawn, you're going to have some raindrops to dodge tomorrow. I'm afraid to tell you that, but that's just what I see. And the heat advisory lasts until the top of the hour. That's just 18 minutes from now because it's 7:42 here on the 17th of July. Love having you on here. Love having you on here. Just want to say hi. Got a nice note because I do read some of the notes even after the live streams. Hey, David, thank you. He writes, this is from George. Thank you for your reports. My pleasure. Glad to have you watching, George, even if you watch it on delay. And there is that case, too, where some people will, in fact, watch these things later on. Case in point, our dear friend Kim. Kim's on here. She says, good evening. I'm so late, I have to watch the replay. There's no harm in that. There's no harm in that, Kim. I'm very glad that you're here. I'd like to acknowledge who Kim is and, of course, your note here. And we're going to do so much more here in this live stream. In addition to getting all the weather nuts and bolts that you need to know, I'm going to give you a bold prediction for early August in this live stream. I've got all sorts of goodies, so don't go anywhere. Did I mention we're giving away pizza? You know, there's 5 locations that are participating in the contest. And if you don't win tonight, and you could be the name I've got to reveal. All you have to do is register. Go to our website, WTKR.com/Marcos. There are 3 locations in Virginia Beach. There are 3 locations, one in Greenbrier, Chesapeake, and one in Hampton Boulevard, I should say, in Norfolk. Those are the 5 locations that are participating in the contest. We're giving away all sorts of pizza. The Pepperoni Magnifico. What's special about the Bozzoli on the left, which is a great lunch item, I might say, if you go to Marcos.com, is that you can get a special on that particular item. The certificate for a year looks like this. We're giving away 1 large, 1 topping. Someone's going to be the winner tonight. Someone's going to be like, yay, I won. You're not going to believe it. Who won tonight? This is special. This is our 30th episode, by the way, so it has to be special. And we're giving away $5 Pozzolis. Usually they're like almost twice the price. So my personal favorite is the pepperoni and sausage. They are like a stromboli, like a calzone. All you have to do is use the promo code WTKR and my first name, because it's my favorite item. I love it. It's very filling, and it is a lot larger than what would be pictured here. So I just got to digress. I want to say hi to you on the long, far away screen. We'll say hi to you a little bit closer here, and we'll come back over here. We are under the heat advisory, right? I'm starting to feel hot. Maybe you're hot. Maybe you're not in the air conditioning. Maybe your ceiling fan has been working on overtime. Look at these numbers. Look at that. 103 is the actual feels like right now at 7 o'clock in Norfolk. Now, Suffolk, we'll give Suffolk some grace here. There's no reporting station here right now. They're not reporting. Don't know why. But Moyock feels like 98. That's the number in the blue box. Nags Head feels like 97. It feels like 101 in Newport News and Wakefield 103. So that's some hot stuff. I mean, you just look at it. I mean, go back. It's hot all across the board. I just want to know how you handled today. Did you handle it like a champ, or did you have to sit in the grocery store a little longer, or maybe the library or the movie theater? I don't know. The temperature trend, I wanted to put this out there, will be about 101 tomorrow. And it's interesting because yesterday we hit 91 and it felt like 101. We're going to do that again. So think of Friday is going to be a lot like Wednesday, except we're going to get some downpours. That'll cool us down in a hurry. 90 on Saturday feels like about 100. 103 on Sunday. This is the next 5 days. And our normal high this time of year is 90. But if you miss this, don't worry. I'll come back to it. I'm going to be focused on that on the 7-day. But if your dog, because maybe you handled it beautifully, maybe your dog, maybe you got a corgi like this, maybe a racing heart or unsteadiness in the legs, these are some signs that your dog's not handling the heat very well. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If you're one of those folks that have dogs that maybe don't have enough water in the bowl, make sure they have enough water in the bowl. And a great opportunity to check on your neighbors. That's what I like to say. When you have opportunities like this, you want to make sure that you take care of each other. It's just one of the things you can do, and it makes it a lot better for the neighborhood when everybody's checking up on each other. Make sure everybody's okay, especially in this heat. That certainly can be very, very tough to take. All right, let's go back. I want to come back on camera here because I believe I have some other comments. Do I have some more comments? I believe I do. I think I do. All I have to do is toggle it on. And then once I do toggle it on, then they populate pretty quickly. Denmark's on here. Love it, love it. Look at this. He's already figured out. He's got the hot. It's hot like a grill. Maybe that's what you're hoping to do on a hot day today. Maybe that's not what you're planning on doing. But either way, it's July. We tend to do that. Let's see here. Taj Brown is on here. This isn't from yesterday. This note's just from you today. So I want to call you out and say thank you, Mr. Brown, for being with us. And let's see here. Denmark had a follow-up comment. He says, David, give us some, I think we illustrate this. He says, give us some cool news. It's your fault that it's hot. You blame it on me, right? I could be the pin the tail on the dog. You just say, you're the one to blame. Blame me for the snow that came on the 19th of February, and I didn't even show up into town until the 21st. I showed up 2 days after the snow. You could blame that on me too. I'll take it. I think I can take it. I've been doing this about 25 years now. I think I can handle it. The trolling, the comments, of the blame. Because you know what? Weather is not a vending machine. You could say I want a Diet Coke, I want a honey bun, or I want a Hershey bar. Whatever that you want, it's not that way with weather. I want it nice on Saturday, but you can rain it on Monday. It doesn't work like that. I'm just the messenger. That's all I can tell you. But I can tell you your dog, if he's heavy panting, excessive drooling, these could be signs that your dog needs some help. Maybe keep them cool. I'm just throwing it out there because I love dogs too. I got one myself, and her name I should say, is Dew Point. We call her Dewey. Anyway, 10% chance of now it's been dropped. This is a tropical update because some people are like, just tell me about the tropics. I can tell you this. This little X marks the spot moved over land today, a little bit over land. So the National Hurricane Center started to dial it back. They had a 40% chance that this could become Dexter. Dexter's a fun name for a tropical storm or hurricane, but even at its best, it would have been maybe a marginal tropical storm. But now it's down to 10%. It went from 40, down to 10%. So now you got to say to yourself, it's probably not going to become a big deal. Probably will not become a big deal, but it's still going to produce, whether it got a name or not, it's going to produce some locally heavy rain in and around Louisiana and through the Gulf Coast here. So this is Panama City. There's New Orleans, just to give you some orientation. That's what could have been Dexter, but now it's nothing. It's a no-name, but it's a storm. It's producing some puddles. It's producing some big high water in some cases, no doubt. If you're on the call, we'd love to say hi to you because all we're trying to do is keep the conversation going. I got a note from Kim. Kim's on here. She says, David, it's way too hot. I'm waiting for you to predict cooler weather. It kind of leads me into my prediction. Usually, I will hold back on some of this information if I don't have much confidence. But at least at this point, some of the early signs of early August, I'm talking the first 10 days, if not the first 7 days of August, but we'll say 10. First 10 days of August look like they're cooler to me, where somebody will say, is it August? There are some indications it could turn rainy and cooler with a strong northeast wind. And if that's the case, Kim, hopefully if you could just hang out, because I know it's only the 17th of July, you hang out to the first 10 days of August, and it might make you happy, and it might make our friend Denmark very happy. We'll have to wait and see. But that's still out there. As far as the tropics, we've kind of covered that. We're going to keep Dexter on the list. I'm sorry, he's just going to have to live another day. He is not and has not formed yet, but we did get Chantal about a weekend or so ago, and that's pretty much now in the rearview mirror. They got flooding from a tropical depression, Chantal, in places like Burlington, North Carolina, and Chapel Hill. Atlantic storm timeline, we've talked about this too. This is usually peaks around the 10th of September. That's what this usually signifies. So if you're looking at this and going, okay, if this is where we are, that means our hurricane season has barely scratched the surface. meaning that we typically get a lot more activity based on history, a lot more activity in late August, early September. That's when it's like game on. That's when we usually expect to find something brewing in the Atlantic that might be headed our way, or maybe in the case of what could have been Dexter, moving across the Gulf the opposite way, moving from east to west. Sometimes these things happen, but I just wanted to give you perspective. We still have a lot of hurricane season left, even though it's the 17th of July. Heat advisory until 8. We got 10 minutes left. Triple-digit feels-like temperatures tomorrow. We kind of touched on that. We'll revisit that soon. Storms return. Severe weather threat is Friday afternoon. And the weekend outlook will be hot and humid with some afternoon storms. I got some other notes here that are coming in here. Who I have on here? I have a follow-up from Kim. She says, I hope so. Sure hope so it gets cooler. And I see Lynette. I think she's happy. Lynette Lee says, I think she's happy. She says, great, that if we could get some cooler weather first 10 days of August. Some of you are like, I love it, but it could also mean it's quite rainy. If you get a northeast wind and it's cool and it's rainy and it's cool because it's rainy, you might not say great, but some would mind, but some would say just change the pattern. I'm not keen on this hot weather. I get it. It can be very, very troublesome for some, especially if you're not accustomed to it. There is going to be a flood watch tomorrow. I want to highlight this because this is not in effect now, even though our weather crawl has been running. This doesn't even start till 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So if you can imagine tomorrow afternoon between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., I think that's the time to watch where things get very interesting as far as downpours, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Williamsburg. Some spots tomorrow afternoon will be heavy rain, big puddles, and again, it could linger at least the flood watch until 4 a.m. Saturday. That's how the National Weather Service has viewed it right now. And you can see it covers a lot of areas here across North Carolina as well. So it covers the Outer Banks. Satellite radar right now, this is a nothing burger. Nothing going on right now. What do we have? A few showers near Emporia. At best, we might get some residual clouds tonight. Ooh, clouds. Yeah, that's it. It's stuffy. We may struggle like we did this morning, because I'm a note taker. We had a low of 79. 79 degrees. If you can't get below 80, barely. Overnight, it's very tough to take. Your air conditioning is probably working in overdrive. But we hit 79 at 7:17 this morning. That was the low point. So if you got up early thinking, I'm going to enjoy some cool weather while it lasts, you were disappointed because we got up to 92 today. It felt like 104. So that's where things are. Even though we're not raining now, what I'm about to show you. See all this wet weather here? This has been out here toward Martinsville, Roanoke. Just cut and paste. Cut and paste it here. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow, meaning Friday the 18th, that's when things are going to go, man, I wish I had my umbrella. You're going to want the umbrella more tomorrow than perhaps the water bottle. I'm just saying. I wanted you to be aware. By the way, it's now 7:53. I've got some pizza to give away. I always love Thursdays for many reasons, but Thursdays, it's like another word for almost Friday, right? It's almost the weekend, and we're going to be giving away free pizza. You could be a winner tonight. I honestly, if you registered and you haven't won yet, this is our 30th episode. There's a good chance you could be the winner tonight, and you'll be like, I'm thrilled. Now, the question I have for you is, are you going to share your Marco's Pizza? Are you going to share your Marco's Pizza? Because you know what? You could just pass out these pizzas, but if you're going to save it all for yourself, what good's that? Go ahead and share it with your neighbors. I think that would be fun. We'll do that here coming up. Just bear with me. We got to get through the weather segment of this portion. Now, we've got a front that drapes all the way back across the Midwest, and you can see that low centered over Missouri. Now, they still, I don't know why, but they do. They have places like the Isle of Wight, parts of Sussex, Surrey County. I guess you're still under the level 1. I think that might be a bit overdone, overkill for today. But once we move into tomorrow, everybody's fair game for level 1. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean to me? So in this situation, it means some damaging wind in spots because it's isolated. Flooding potential is also top of mind, but large hail, not much of a situation. I mean, it could happen, but I don't expect it. And the tornado formation is less than 2%. So I left it as a 0. I just don't see tornadoes being an issue tomorrow, but some of you might have some damaging wind associated with some of the storms that come in on Friday. Again, time frame 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. for development. could last well after 8 p.m. I won't be live streaming on a Friday, but just so you know, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. is when I think it's going to flourish. It's going to blow up. Some of us are going to, I didn't see this coming, but that's why you watch First Warning live. At least I hope you do. Saturday, nothing to see. There's no severe weather expected, although we will get some storms. By the way, it's now 7:55 by my clock. It might be running fast, but I do see severe weather in all parts of the country. I'm looking at Montana. We have a lot of military here. So if you have family and you want to know what the weather looks like back home, let me know where home is. I can see, at least in Montana, there appears to be a severe thunderstorm warning for Blaine County, Montana, for considerable damage going on in Phillips County too. Very soon, that runs until about 6:45, I guess, Mountain Time in Big Sky Country. Oh, and we've got a severe thunderstorm down in New Mexico. Looks like this is showing up in this orange polygon. Just to give you some context, that's a severe thunderstorm warning for Mora and San Miguel till 6:30. I would assume that is Central Time, maybe Mountain Time. And then we go back to the east, and now I see a little severe thunderstorm in Virginia, not far from Bristol. Looks like it's just north of Bristol. It's Russell and Washington until 8:45. So imagine how this is kind of like a standalone, right? This is this little cell right here. I'm going to circle it. This little one all by itself is lonely. Now, if we do the cut and paste idea that I just shared with you, cut and paste all this activity that's going on in western sections of Virginia tomorrow, it comes over here, right? So now it's going to be over here tomorrow. We might get an Uno, like one lonely severe thunderstorm. That's possible, right? I just want you to be prepared. It's not going to be widespread, but if you get some storms, so be it. Surf height for beach forecast tomorrow, 91 degrees, 2 feet. I love this because the 757 loves to hear 757. So here it is. Low tide is 757. Couldn't get any better than that. Low water temperature about 78 degrees. You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking about pizza. I just want to get back to the pizza delivery here. Let me talk about this for a moment. The Pepperoni Magnifico on the right is what we're giving away. Imagine if you got one of these once per month. That's the certificate that we're giving away here. Hopefully you can see that here. So what we're going to be doing, since it's July, you get your pizza. This will be mailed to you. You can check off July, and then next month, August, you get 12 months. So you can use your certificate like a punch card at the bottom, but you're getting one large, one topping monthly for a year for free. I just figured let's go ahead and give this away. We'll pause all the fun and excitement we're having on the live stream, but I want to come back to get back the pizza. Let's give away some pizza, and then we'll get back to the beach forecast because I know we covered some integral points already. But one thing I'm missing here. Let's get this on the screen. Let's see if I can quick play in this. There it is. So free Marco's Pizza for a year. Ooh, that sounds cool. What are we missing? Oh, I know what we're missing. We're missing some confetti. Yay! All right, drum roll please. The winner is Sharon Owens of Chesapeake. Oh, Sharon, are you out there? Calling Miss Owens if you're out there. This is your chance to shine. You could be the first person to win a certificate for the free pizza for a year who's actually on the call at the same exact time. Wouldn't that be cool? I think that would be awesome. So if Miss Owens, you're watching right now, you want to leave us a comment, tell us what you think. How excited are you? Are you going to share the pizza? That's what I want to know. Are you going to share with your family, your friends, your neighbors? Maybe you save it all for yourself. That's cool. I get it. Some people are hungry. I want people to have some free pizza, and that's what Marcos is here to do. So we're giving away free pizza for a year. That means Sharon Owens has just won a free pizza certificate. It looks like this. We just talked about this. So we do this once a week on Thursdays. I want to congratulate Sharon Owens. And I know all on behalf of everyone who's watching right now. I see a note from Denmark. He says, you better share. Yeah, better share. Because I think the more people try the product, you say, yeah, it's really good. And I can tell you that, Sharon, that you are a lucky winner. We're going to give away some more pizza here. Let's do that now. So congratulations to Sharon Owens. She's in Chesapeake. I think we've given away now maybe over 50 or 60 pizzas or pizza certificates individually and collectively since we started our 30th episode. So a lot of pizza has been given away. Now, what are we doing now? This is just a transition here. We're going to the one free large Marco's Pizza. This is one topping. This is an individual pie. And so I've got 10 winners. We're not going to hold back. 10 winners are going out right now. The first two, Betty Mack. from Norfolk. Congratulations to you. You just won a free Marco's Pizza. Woo! There's some free dinner for you right there. Celeste O'Neill, Virginia Beach. Congratulations to you. You too have won a free pizza. Yay! We're dishing out the pizza right now. Oh, and then we got 2 more winners. Number 3 and 4 in no particular order. Darnell Brooks. Hot dogs, look at that. You got a pizza Darnell Brooks in Hampton. Now, some of you are going like, I know Darnell. I don't know Darnell, but if he's watching, we'll let him know. Hey, Darnell, you're being talked about on the live stream. We want to see and hear your comments. I can do that. Come back on the screen here. So we'll go back. I believe Darnell was, in fact, number 3 from Hampton. Desiree Tavares from Virginia Beach, you're number 4. You just won a free pizza from Marco's, 1 topping, at your discretion. Whenever you want to cash it in, it'll be mailed to you, the certificate, and you won't have to pay for it. How sweet is that? I love it. Oh, and number 5, a very good Italian name, Gino Bortoluzzi, if I said that right. Virginia Beach. For number 5, Doris Williams, number 6, from Hampton, has won a free Marco's Pizza. Congratulations. Gianmarco Franco, we have Marco's has a very rich Italian background, so you'll love the Marco's Pizza if you haven't tried it. Also, we have number 7 and 8 on the screen. Mark Pipkin from Virginia Beach. Congratulations. You just won a free Marco's Pizza, 1 topping. As has Destiny Booker. It is your destiny to get a free Marco's Pizza today from Chesapeake. Congratulations, Destiny. Glad to have you here. And the last of the 2, because we're going to round it up to 10 pizza pies, one large Marco's free pizza here with 1 topping is Georgia Freeman of Portsmouth. Congratulations to her. She's just won a free pizza from Marco's. And Vernon Smith from Moyock in North Carolina. Very thankful for all of you. I hope you'll enjoy your pizza. I'm wondering if you all will share. I'm wondering if you will. I think you will share. I think some of you are like, I'll share it with my spouse, my significant other. Somebody's going to want some pizza once you bring it. And now that we've advertised it on the live stream, everybody knows, I know him or her. Didn't you win some pizza? When are you going to share? Maybe that's how it goes. I hope it does. Anyway, thank you, Marcos, for being so generous with the pizza. We got to get back to the weather. It's 8:02. I love Thursdays. I love giving away free pizza. Maybe some of you do too. Okay, pizza, we've gotten that out. The beach forecast. We're looking for surf height tomorrow on a Friday, around 2 feet. 91 will feel like it's about 101. That's what I expect. And this is typical or in keeping with what we normally see in July and August, upper 70s, very commonplace in terms of the normal high temperatures. I got a note from Tawanda Jones. I guess she's excited about WTKR windy. Yeah, go to WTKR.com. I talked about this before, but the website that you want to go to, because there's only 5 locations that will participate in this contest. So if you go to one of the 3 Virginia Beach locations, one on Virginia Beach Boulevard, Princess Anne Road, and Independence Boulevard, the Kempsville Road and the Hampton Boulevard in Chesapeake and Norfolk, you can redeem your pizzas. We talked about the free winners there, the winners who got a free pizza, but if you want to register for next week, because we're going to give away more pizza, that's just one of the cool things that I love about Marcos is they're so community oriented. They give back to the military, they give back to the school kids, middle school kids. They're always giving back, and they're giving back to you tonight. So if you are a winner, just want you to know we're very thankful for you watching. Okay, and Marcos loves weather, so that's another reason we're doing this. We've got to talk about the average ocean temperatures are typically warmest now. Is this the rainy season? We talked about this yesterday. We got no rain today. So we still have a total of 3 1/3 inches of rain. Now, some locations in Hampton Roads in North Carolina got like 2 or 3 inches in just a few short hours over the last couple of days or weeks, because we've had some flash flood warnings where it's localized to the neighborhood, but it doesn't necessarily rain always at the airport, because many of us don't live at the airport. We might travel through the airport on our connecting flight, but it's usually nobody, unless you work at the airlines. But we had 1.83 a week ago today on a Thursday, but we haven't had any rain since, and tomorrow I think that's going to change. I think we have the potential to pick up anywhere from at least 1/4 to 1/2 inch on average with locally higher amounts. And I'll show you what that looks like with the future rainfall here in just a moment. So bear with me. Normal rainfall, this is typically July and August, usually the wettest months of the year. Let me say this again. The soggiest months of the year are typically July and August because of high dew points, because of high humidity, gully washers, frog stranglers, whatever you want to call them. Those heavy rainmakers tend to skew the averages up. So we get 6.08 in July, typically see 5.88. This is a 30-year average, right? And the driest month is the month it snowed when we had 2.90 is usually the driest month of the calendar, just so if you make planning purposes in the Norfolk area. And again, high tide or high temperatures today hit 92. It was 93 in Hampton and 92 in Gloucester, where it felt considerably hotter. Ooh, I see here, Tawana Jones wants to know, good question. She wants to know about pollen. She got me off guard. Pollen typically becomes more active, especially ragweed, in early to mid-August and right through Labor Day when it peaks. So ragweed will become the next culprit. You could be dealing with pollen, it might be grass. Tree pollen's pretty much played its hand. That comes usually in March and April and can extend into May. But May 15th to June 15th is our typical peak for grass pollen. But we're about to move into the third leg, Tawanda Jones, moving into the third leg of pollen season, which typically is ragweed. I would suspect it's going to be on the rise, especially as we head into next month. I'll have more updates on that to come. But in the meantime, let's go back to the maps. We're talking about a high today of Elizabeth City hit 91 degrees. And now, if you look at these numbers, we've only had, five days in the 90s this month. That one day, I believe it was July 3rd, was 89. That was normal, 89 normal, so it doesn't have a color. But most of what is it, 5 to 11? 5 days above normal down here, 11 days below normal. And you wouldn't feel that necessarily, because this is actually the actual air temperature, not the feels like, because a lot of these temperatures that were in the 80s felt like it was in the 90s, right? So it makes it, perception-wise, makes it feel like it's been a very hot month in July, when technically it's probably a little bit closer to normal, maybe slightly about a half a degree above. 90-degree days so far. I talked about April, we had 1 day. May, we had 2 days. June, we've had a whopping 12. And the hottest day of the year, if you remember right, was June 26th. We hit 99 degrees. Today we hit 92. So these were the actual temperatures, not the feels like. 99 on June 26th was the hottest day. And we had a hot day like that June 26th last year. I believe it was 99, which I thought was remarkably coincidental. By the way, as far as our 90-degree days, we've now had a total, ready for this? 20. This is your 30th episode, and we've had 20 days. That's right. And we usually see 36. 36 would be typical for this time of year. I got some other notes that are coming in. I'm checking those as well. Multitasking, doing my best to multitask. I got Scott. He says he wants to sign up. I would love for you to sign up. Scott, all you have to do is go to WTKR.com/Marcos, and you could be a winner for free pizza. There's no strings attached. We just want you to have some food. And maybe in this time for this economy, that could go a long way. Because if pizza night is your Friday night, Saturday night, maybe you have pizza night on Tuesdays. Can't have it Tuesdays, that's Taco Tuesday. Well, whatever day it is for you. If you get free pizza from us, from Marcos, consider it a bonus. We just thought, since you like weather, might as well give away some free pizza. And it's really a great pizza at that, because I'm a big fan, as I mentioned. Did I mention the Pozzoli? I don't know if I mentioned the Pozzoli. You got to check out the Pozzoli. If you use the promo code WTKR David, when you go to Marcos.com and you get to the checkout window, use the promo code WTKR. Those are our call letters. David's my first name, so you could get basically half off your Pozzoli if you haven't tried one. They're delicious. Next time you feel tempted to go through the drive-thru and spend 10 or 12 bucks on a value meal, you'd be thrilled that you got a Pozzoli for just $5. It is delicious and it's very, very filling. I'll just leave it at that for now. By the way, 20 days so far at 90. We typically get about 14 and a half or 15 in the month. For July, this is the most abundant month for 90-degree weather. Right now, it is 91 right now in Hampton. It's 88 in Virginia Beach, Kitty Hawk's 86. Our friends down in Edenton right now are 89 degrees. But what does it feel like? It still feels like it's 102 in Hampton, and it feels like 100 right now in Norfolk, and those are 8 o'clock temperatures. Are you telling me it still feels like 100 in Norfolk at 8 o'clock at night? Exactly. And that's why the heat advisory was to go until 8 o'clock. So for some of you, it still feels like the mid-90s. It's maybe not feeling like a picnic, but at least outside, you know, it feels like summer. There's just no getting around that here at 8:09. I got to keep moving. It still feels like the swamp. I have some good news on this front. Anything that you see that's above 70, 70. That would be most every number here, including Wallops Island. Everybody feels like they're in the very sticky weather that is oppressive. Anytime it's 70, it would be around muggy territory. 75 is oppressive. This is the gold standard to kind of measure how bad it feels. But guess what? The trend is to drop it. When does that happen? That's Tuesday. Oh, so that's the first warning idea. It's going to get less humid next week. Ding, 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 ding. That's right. So now we're just going to be plain humid, right? 68 would be humid. We're going to leave the unpleasant and the miserable category, which is where we've been for days on end. That should be music to your ears, Kim. That should be music to your ears, Denmark. I know some of you were like, oh, make it less humid, because I know that will make things go a lot easier. I got another note from Wendy. How do you win? Great question. Randomly selected. I have nothing to do with it. Our sales team puts it in one of those randomizing machines and whatever, and they pull out the names. So those names that we pulled out today, totally random. And if you win next week, I'll be announcing it on Thursday. So that's another reason to watch Live's First Warning Live any day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But Thursday, Wendy Smith is when we do it. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time. Now let's keep moving. I want to give you the good news. The good news is if you're not a fan of the humidity, it will be trailing down. And 68 on Tuesday could be generous. I see some data that would suggest the dew point's closer to 62, 63. And if that's the case, boys, it's a hello, welcome, bring it on. Where do you see some dry air? I see some 60s back here. I mean, I'm looking at Indianapolis. I'm looking at Columbus, Beckley. This cool air, I say cool in quotation marks, drier air is trying to advect or move in this direction. Maybe we could get it to come down toward Hampton Roads by next week, and there's some indications that's the case. Right now, I want to say a hello to my friends in Knoxville, East Tennessee, where I spent 15 years raising my kiddos. I got 2 daughters, my wife and 2 daughters. We raised our kids there, but we've been out here. I've been here now, 4 months? 4 months and counting in Virginia Beach. So I understand maybe if you're from a different part of the country and you're in the military, I understand temperatures can vary depending on where you are. But look at the cool air in green. All you have to do is look at the green color in Colorado. There's some hope there. Look at this cool pocket of air around Detroit. That's some drier air. So hopefully by the time we move into next week, you will sense or feel there's a little bit of a change in the air mass. I'm going to come back on camera. This is what I like to show is the 10-day outlook. This shows the 5,000 foot temperatures or 850 millibars where some of the cool air in Canada does try to work its way down. And if it does, even if it's just for a day or two, and I see that next week, that you might get a little bit of a break from the oppressive heat. Maybe we can get it down below muggy for a day or two. That would be a bonus. That's what I'm hoping anyway. It's 8:12. I got to keep moving. Temperature trend in the 90s. We've already kind of highlighted the fact that it'll be a little cooler in the upper 80s next week. And if we get storms tomorrow a little sooner than 4 p.m., we may struggle to get to 91 on Friday. But I suspect, worst case scenario, feels like 101 tomorrow, feels like 100 on Saturday, and 103 on Sunday. Now, if you're just joining us and you're just saying, what's going on? What's going on? I see Wendy say she's wishing she could win. I think we've directed Wendy in the right direction. I'm looking at comments that might be 13 minutes old. So I'll go back to maybe to the top. Kim says she likes the 62-degree dew point. If we can get that by Tuesday, we'll take it. It'll feel a little bit better across the board, I suspect, no doubt. So that's where things are at the moment. Temperatures are going to cool down. Worst case scenario, feels like about 90, 91, perhaps by Tuesday of next week. Rain chances start to stair step down. We go from 60% Friday and Saturday back down to measly 10% or 0 by Tuesday. In fact, the 30% chance I have on Monday may be confined to the Outer Banks. So you may not even have much rain in Hampton Roads at all on Monday. So think of next week as a less toxic or less humid atmosphere, and maybe in a good way, it's perhaps a little cooler, in quotation marks. Rainfall forecasts. As you know and I know, it can rain, it can pour in this type of environment. This takes us through 11 o'clock Sunday. As I've said before, these products have great utility in an average sense. Here puts about 1.5 inches from inland Virginia to inland North Carolina, where maybe we average a 1/2 inch in the south side over the next 3 days. That's possible. Maybe it's less in the Outer Banks. But at least right now, because all this is coming in from the west, this may actually verify to some degree. We'll have to wait and see. Tomorrow, if we get a flash flood warning in a spot or two, that would not surprise me, simply because we have such high precipitable water and could see some heavy rain in spots. Emporia, Roanoke, over an inch of rain. That's suggested here, as you can see from the rainfall potential. All right, so I want to keep moving. It's now, what, 8:14 almost. Let's get to the Eastern Shore forecast. 86 for Bloxham, 86 for Onancock. I want to shout out to our friends at the Exmoor Diner. 86 for you, 85 for Cape Charles tomorrow. There will be about a 50 to 60% chance of rain between Duck, Kill Devil Hills, upper 80s for you here. And as we slide further south toward Nags Head, 87, Manio, 89. Tomorrow's highs in Hatteras, Ocracoke, about 87 degrees. Storm Prediction Center, we talked about their expectation tonight. I thought was a bit overstated. Isolated is the dark green, yellow is scattered, but they do put parts of maybe I guess York County and maybe even James City, Gloucester County, James City County under that level 1 tonight. I think that might be overkill. But between now and 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, we've already looked at one spot in Montana. They're getting some severe weather. Oklahoma City could get some isolated severe storms between now and daybreak tomorrow. Louisville, the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky, most of West Virginia, and sliding up to New England, they could get some scattered severe storms. Surprisingly, yes, northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire could have severe weather by tomorrow morning, if not between now and then. But you can see how it kind of cuts parts of, includes Williamsburg, but not Franklin. I think, again, that might be kind of like the far northern stretch of that occurrence tonight. Friday, however, you can see there are some hot spots in Iowa, southern Minnesota, South Dakota, and Nebraska. Come back home, and it covers all of our areas. So this little patch of green on the screen suggests that we could get some isolated severe storms. I've already talked about damaging wind, some flooding potential, and maybe even some small or large hail. Severe weather threat Saturday is right now non-existent. There was nothing over us for Friday yesterday, but they tend to change their mind. Who's they? I'm talking about the Storm Prediction Center. They work out of Norman, Oklahoma, and those men and women with the PhDs typically decide where they're going to put their colors. This is where they decide to put it for Saturday. As of right now, that's Des Moines, Davenport, Peoria, and Champaign-Urbana, Illinois. Rapid City, South Dakota, isolated, and maybe something that could happen around Louisville and Fort Wayne on Saturday. But right now, we do have some wet weather coming, but it may not reach severe limits. That's at least the expectation. Now, I want to show you tonight. If you're looking for rain tonight, you're going to be disappointed. There's just not a whole lot. We'll get some clouds out of what's trying to get here, but as I mentioned, if we cut and then paste it here, you're going to about to see why I think that Friday afternoon is going to be interesting. 7 a.m. is fine. Go to work, go to school, wherever you have to be. On Friday, you're fine, but once you hit midday, then we start to cloud back up, and all of a sudden, these red areas, I'm going to take this full because I think this is very telling. Boom, right there. I think that says it right there. That area just to the east of Elizabeth City. I'm looking at Currituck County, Camden County. I'm looking over toward Duck, some of these areas, and then watch it spread right into Norfolk, right? It's bound to, oh, there it is. Oh, isn't there a Norfolk Tides game tomorrow? There is. They're taking on the Syracuse Mets. And I believe they're having a big night for Hispanic culture. And if maybe this is, you know what's amazing? This is a great teachable moment. Because sometimes these storms and these models, they could be over here or they could be over here. But at this round, this particular run puts it squarely over Norfolk. Could it change between now and tomorrow? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is not gospel, it's guidance. And so it gives us some good guidance that when it rains, it pours. Could be pouring down in buckets across parts of Isle of Wight, back toward Surrey County, Sussex County. The images, while they're very effective, they don't always have the perfect location services provided. So we can assume it's probably going to be somewhere in Hampton Roads, but maybe it's over Franklin. In this case, it's parked right over Norfolk. And maybe Harbor Park will be fine. So we'll have to wait and see. There's a 60% chance of rain tomorrow. And here I think you can see why. Once we move into Saturday morning, we're going to do it again. We're going to lather, we're going to rinse and repeat. Nothing to see through midday, but the afternoon, 2 o'clock, it's starting to rain. Oh, I was just hoping I could get my tennis game or my pickleball in. Whatever you're doing, maybe you're at the beach. Maybe you're just like, I wish it wasn't raining. But then again, at 4 o'clock, the guidance would suggest we've got some rain in and around Virginia Beach, Norfolk, 4 o'clock on a Saturday. And I know that's not what anybody wants to hear. I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but that could be what we have to work around. Just be flexible. with your outdoor plans. I don't say cancel outdoor plans. I wouldn't tell the Norfolk Tides to cancel a game. That's ridiculous. You got to wait and see how it could play out because it could change. Even hour to hour by hour, these things can change dramatically. And you can see by 5 o'clock Saturday, it's still raining hard and thundering in red some areas to the east of Virginia Beach as it moves out to sea. So here we go at 8:19. I've gone on long enough, but I love giving away pizza. Friday morning, we're in the upper 70s, just like we were this morning. And then by the afternoon, about 90 for Franklin, 92 for Ahoskie, 87 for Duck. These are my expected highs. Cape Charles, mid-80s, about 91 for Norfolk, and again, 91 for Moyock. Hertford about 93, and 90 for Newport News. Just want you to get prepared for the day ahead. And again, the rain that comes in will in fact cool us dramatically. Temperatures will fall pretty quickly after that. 88 for the peninsulas, 91 south side, 93 for North Carolina. Now, here's your first warning. That's weather. First warning, WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. 90 on Saturday, 93 on Sunday. I just want to highlight what I like to say is this is probably a 30% chance for the Outer Banks. This is probably a 0 to 10. This is a 0 to 10 and maybe a spotty 20. I think that by and large, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are looking good for dryness where you could go to the beach if you have some time off in July and say, hey, I don't have to look over my shoulder for dark clouds. Who wants to go to the beach constantly worrying and it's going to start thundering any moment? Nobody likes that. So I think these are going to be some good beach days. That's one of the benefits. And what did we talk about? Talked about cooler weather and maybe rainier weather. First 10 days of August, there's some first warning intel, and maybe next week would be great. But even more importantly, what happens on Friday afternoon could affect your Friday night plans. So if you got plans at 6, 7, 8 o'clock on a Friday night, be prepared. Make sure you have the umbrella. That's all I want to suggest. So wanted to just keep things up. Oh, and we'll end on some happy notes here. I believe I have some happy shots. These are fun because I like to get kind of showcase some of our WTKR photographers. This comes by way of William Wood. Hampton sunset. Not all these are like last night or today, but they were days ago. This one from James City County from Lori. Love the twilight picture there. And I believe this last one is from Rico from sunset on the Chesapeake Bay. Thank you, Rico, for sharing that picture with us. Love it and love being able to share these great pictures with you by way of our WTKR photographers. So there's your first warning forecast. If you got other notes here, let me know. I got some, Tawana, she said yay. I guess she's either excited about maybe the pollen update. I tried to do my best there. But let's see here. Kim's also talking about electricity. My electric bill is showing hot these days. Yeah, we'll hopefully get maybe that dialed back as we head into the first couple of days of August. We'll have to wait and see. Well, just want to remind you, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny. It doesn't matter if the weather is serious. Every day is a gift. Please make the most of it in your neighborhood. We'll see you here next week. Take care.